The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. My name is Peggy. I will be presenting today's webinar. We will be using the stage environment, and this is for the state of Illinois. This is the new EFSP software for e-filing into the courts in Illinois. You'll see on your screen, it says Welcome eFile Illinois, and then there's the word stage. Keep in mind, this is a test environment, and we will mimic the site that you guys will be using for sending your documents to the court with e-filing. E-filing, of course, is electronic filing of documents. So the first thing you will see when you pull up Odyssey, Illinois, is on the far right. There's two ways to register. You can register for a firm account. This is perfect for you if you're a solo practitioner attorney, or if you're an attorney, a paralegal, or a staff that works at a law firm with multiple filers. Okay. If you are an attorney, you will be required to enter an attorney number. If you do not know an attorney number from this state, you want to register as an individual if you are not barred in the state of Illinois. The other way you can register on Odyssey, Illinois is as an individual. This would be perfect for you if you are not an attorney, you don't work for an attorney, you don't work in a law office. Maybe you are a self-represented litigant or a pro se filer. You could be an employer submitting wage garnishment information. You could be a process server and other non-parties. You might also be an out-of-state or pro hoc vici lawyer. That would be good for you to register as an individual account. For today's training purposes, I will be focusing on a firm account. So let's go ahead and click on the word register. This will allow you to register for the first time a firm account. If your firm already has an account, you're going to ask your firm administrator to invite you to join that account. So the first thing I would put in would be an email. So put in your email that you want to start receiving email notifications on. Also, when you submit filings, this will be the email that gets notification your filing was submitted, accepted, or rejected, and so forth. After you put in your email, you're then going to create a password. The password should be at least 8 characters with at least one lowercase, at least one uppercase, and at least one number or symbol. Once you have put in your password, it's then going to ask for your user information. Put in your name, your last name. You can put in a middle name if you want to. It is not a mandatory field. Anything that is mandatory will have a red asterisk and let you know that that is mandatory. Okay. The address, put it, it could be a physical address or it could be a post office box. Either one is fine. Address line 2, maybe you have a suite number, you would want to put that there. Okay, you want to put in your city and state. And then you want to put in your zip code. Put in your phone number, it is required. And then you'll see I agree to the terms and conditions. If you click on terms and conditions, this will be what you should read before you agree to it. You can also make that a hard copy and put that in your firm for everyone to see if you desire to do so. Click on I agree to the terms and conditions, then click on the box that says register. You will get a thumbs up telling you registration was successful. You will receive an email with a link to confirm the email address you registered with. This is a security measure. You must click the emailed link before you will be able to sign in. So at this point, you would then go to your email inbox, find that email. It would be there waiting on you immediately, and go ahead and activate your account. Once you have activated the account, you are then going to come right back and sign in. So click on the sign in, put in the email that you just registered with and your password, and click on the word sign in. You will notice you have 6 boxes here. We will go over these boxes after we set up our account. So as a firm administrator, I am going to set up this account. First thing I would want to do is click on the icon that says Firm Management. If I click on that, it opens it up. This gives me the tabs for firm users, attorneys, payment accounts, and firm details. The firm details was established when I registered my account. That would be the name of the firm and the address and phone number. So I'm going to go ahead and click on payment accounts and set up my payment account so I can start filing into the courts. Click on add account in the upper right hand corner. Where it says account name, you can name it whatever you would like to name it. Keep in mind that however you name your payment account is how it will appear when you are in a filing and you get to the fees area. When you click on that drop down in fees, however I name this credit card is how it will appear. Okay, so maybe I want to name it my law firm name. Payment account type drop down, you'll notice there's 3 kinds: credit card, waiver, or bank account. Let's do credit card. Click on enter information. Once again, you will select credit card and then card type, Visa, MasterCard, Discover or MasterCard. Click on the one that you are going to be putting in and then put in your credit card information and click continue. This goes through a verification process. It is immediate. As soon as this has been verified, you will see the word active. If you have a credit card that expires, like the one that we see up here, you click on that trash can and you can click on delete account. This is on down the road. You can click on delete account and that will remove that expired credit card. You can also add a bank account. So if I click on add account, for account name, I'm just going to simply name it eCheck. Payment account type, drop down, I will choose bank account and click on enter information. Click on eCheck. Account type, this is either off of your checking or savings. It will then lead you to put in your account number, routing number, name on the card, address, etc. Click on continue. When this is verified, again, it takes seconds. Once it is verified, it would say that your eCheck is active. The third type of payment account you could set up would be a waiver. Click on add account. We recommend that you simply name it waiver. Payment account type, drop down, choose waiver. Account type again is waiver and click on the word save. A waiver must be granted by the court in order for you to use a waiver to waive any court fees. If you're a government agency, you might have a waiver set up. If you do pro bono type work, you can set up a waiver. Again, the clerks do have to have an understanding that you have been granted waiver, but that is how you set up your waiver account. So you can have all 3 different kinds of payment accounts set up. You can have a credit card, you can have an eCheck, and you can have a waiver. Just please make sure that when you name them, you distinguish one from the other so you'll know when you're filing and you get to that drop down, the one that you select. Okay, so you want to make sure you do know how you named it. It is the firm administrator who does name the credit cards. Click on attorneys. You're going to set up your attorney next. Click on add attorney. You want to put in the attorney's name and the attorney bar number. Once you put in the attorney bar number, click on the word save, and this will set up your attorney. You can have more than one attorney listed under the firm attorneys tab. If an attorney no longer is with the firm, you can click on that trash can and it will remove that attorney. You will get a pop-up asking if this is what you meant to do. Did you mean to delete this attorney? If you did, you click OK. If you did not, you click on cancel. All right, so if we want to add filers to this firm's account, that means that they will be under the firm's account. They will have access to the firm attorneys tab drop down when they add an attorney to a party, and they can have access to the payment account drop down when they add a payment account to a filing. Only the person with the role of firm admin can actually set these up, but the users will have access to using the payment account and the attorneys. So you click on Add User in the upper right-hand corner. You want to put in that user's first name, last name, and email. If you want to put in a middle name, you can. That is an optional field. Okay. Once you put in their email, if you would like to give them the role of firm admin, you can. You can do it now or you can do it later. It is acceptable to have more than one person with that role of firm administrator. For now, I'm just going to choose filer. I will then click on the word save. This means that they have been invited to join this firm's account. An email notifying them that they were invited by me, the firm admin, to join this firm will be sent to them. And then a second email will be sent to them to reset their password so they can sign into the account. Once they have activated their account from this email that was sent to them, again, that is a security precaution, then they can sign in with their email and the password they have created. If somebody leaves the firm, you can remove them. The way to remove them would be to click on that trash can and you could delete user. You will get a pop-up asking if this is what you meant to do. Did you mean to delete this user? If you say OK, that will remove them. They will no longer be able to sign into the firm's account for e-filing. If somebody has a name change or if the whole firm has a name change and you need to change, let's say, the email domain, you can click on that little pencil to edit, click on their email, and make any changes you'd like to make. This is also where you can go to edit the role. So if they did not, let's say they did not have the role of firm admin and you'd like to give them not only the role of filer, which they already have, but if you want to give them firm admin, click the edit, click on firm admin, and then you want to click on the word save. That then adds filers to the filing account for this firm. So we're going to let it load. Keep in mind this is a test environment and it will go a little bit slower than the production site. Now, speaking of having a change in email domain, because maybe there was a name change in the firm admin would click on firm details, and this is where you can click on the edit and make any changes you'd like to make. So if you need to make a change in the name or address or phone number, this is where you would do that. And then you click on the word save. So now that you have everything set up, let's go ahead and see what these other tabs are. So right below firm details, you can click on this tab that looks like a person's head and it says firm service contacts. So we're going to call this your firm service contacts list, make it your master list. So everyone in your firm who should be receiving email notifications, you would want to add them here. This will be the list of service contacts that you could then attach to your cases, and it would be case by case. So to do this, you would click on Add Contact. You're going to put in the person's first and last name and then put in their email address. Now you'll notice there is no other requirements. I could click on save right now if I wanted to. However, I do want to point out the administrative email tab. So if I click on that, let's say this is an attorney who has a paralegal or a secretary that they would also like to receive email notifications. So you would put that person's email here. Once you've put in the administrative email, click on the word save. So this is where you want to have your master list created. If anyone leaves your firm's account and you want to remove them, you would click on that little trash can. There will be a pop-up and it will show you all the cases that this person is attached to. So if I were to delete this contact, it would immediately remove this service contact. In other words, this email would be removed as a service contact from any of these cases they were attached to from the master list. So keep that in mind, and if you click on delete contact, immediately would take them off of those cases. If you have any changes you'd like to make, here's the edit pencil again, click on that. If you want someone else to take over those cases, maybe this person's leaving the firm, you can remove and replace first name, last name, and email. You can add an administrative email if that's what you'd like to do and click save. If you do edit any information here, that information would also be changed on any cases they had been attached to. So keep that in mind. All right, so now let's go ahead and see what this last icon is on the bottom. It says reports. Let's click on reports. This is a report that includes the envelope and filing level case information. It includes fees. And this is useful for reconciling with client records. So you can click here for detailed instructions and it will give you step-by-step instructions. If you have a new hire, they will be able to go here and get instructions. Everyone in your firm, not just the firm administrator, has access to filing reports. On that same token, everyone in your firm who is a filer also has access to service contacts. So to do a report, this will allow you to do this report 60 days at a time. The report will be delivered on an Excel spreadsheet. It's very valuable and helpful for reconciling your filing fees. You can set the filters however you would like. You could submit it, look at filings by my firm because everyone in the firm has access to each other's filings. You could do the locations, statuses. Here's your calendar for the time. Remember, 60 days at a time. So you can run several reports, but only 60 days at a time on the Excel spreadsheet. So once you've set up the dates, you can then click on Download Report. All right, so that's your reports. Now I'm going to go to the very top and click on those three bars and click on Dashboard. You'll notice under Dashboard you have Case Search, My Filings, which will also give you your history. You have bookmarks. If you bookmark a case to file into later, you can click on Bookmarks. There the case will be sitting, waiting for you to file into it if you had bookmarked a case. You have templates. If you do want to use a template, this is here for you to use. To get this off of the page, minimize it, I'm going to click on those three bars again and it puts it over to a nice neat margin. So if you do want to create a template, you click on Add Template. You can name your template whatever you would like to name it. I'm going to do this one for a new case and I'm going to click on Edit Details. This will allow me to set up a template to use. It shaves a little bit of time off when you are doing a filing. So let's say you do a lot of filings in the Supreme Court of Illinois. You can go ahead and pre-fill out the location. Let's say you do a lot of the same type categories and the same type case types. So any of this information, and then when you click on parties, it will save your template. So if I go back to the start, and then of course when you do new case filings, the party information will change, but at least you have set up your case information. So if I go back to the house, which is your standing area, and if I click on templates, I can find the one that I just created. It was a test. It says new case. I can make it a favorite by clicking on the little star. And to use this template, I would just click on use template. This would then let me move a little bit swifter because I have already pre-filled out the case information. If you need to make any edits to your template, there's your pencil for editing. If you want to click on more options, this lets you delete your template or copy your template. You can have, as you can see here, many, many templates. However, it helps you. Some people don't use templates. Some people use them all day long. That would be your personal preference. Back to the house. Let's go ahead and start a filing and see how that looks. Click on Start Filing. Let's start a new case. This means we do not have a case number and we want to start a new case for the first time. So we're initiating something brand new. Don't make the mistake of thinking that start a new case means I've never filed before and so I have to click start a new case. No, this just means we're initiating something brand new. We do not have a case number. So select your court location, case category, and case type. You can scroll through or type to select the options. For instance, let's say we're going to do Cook County. If I start to type in COOK, it will jump me down to the C's for Cook County. This is alphabetized for your convenience. So click on the location that you need. Now click on the category. There's your case type. If you go scroll down, you'll see it is alphabetized. Find the case type that you are needing. Keep in mind, location will determine your category, and the category that you select will determine your case type. Case cross-reference. Cook County does have a case cross-reference area. If you are an attorney, you will put your attorney case cross-reference ID here. If you do not know it, you will want to contact the court and get that case cross-reference ID. If you are pro se, you would put in 99500. I'm going to click on the word parties on the lower right. You'll notice there is a red triangle to the right of plaintiff and to the right of defendant. These are required parties. They are determined by the way the case information has been set up. The location category case type does determine what type parties you will have for this initial case filing. So to add that plaintiff, I'm going to then click on Add Party Details. If you are this party, you can click on I am this party. If you are the attorney for this party, then you want to put in your client's name. You'll notice there is nothing else required. Date of birth is not required. The address is not required. None of this is required by the software. You can now click Save if you want to. If you do want to put in the address, you certainly can do that right here. Just please make sure that this information will be the same that you have on any legal documents you will be submitting to the court for approval. I'm going to go ahead and say that I am the attorney for this party. So I would then click on my attorney. I could either be this attorney and I'm filing on my own behalf, or I could be a paralegal or a secretary. In fact, one of the other filers who is filing on behalf of the attorney. As I mentioned earlier, after the firm admin has set up your firm attorneys tab, that information is available when you click on the drop down for firm attorney. Here it says main attorney. You could do more than one attorney if you so desire. Now click on the word save. You have now added that information for the plaintiff and you have added your attorney for that plaintiff. Next, we have the second required party. Click on add details. If this party is a person or entity, you click on entity if it's a business, party, person if it is a person. Let's say it's an entity. You want to put in the entity or business name. Do you want to put in address? If you do, go ahead. You do not know if they have an attorney or will be getting an attorney, so you do not ever add anyone else's attorney. You only add your attorney to your party. Click on the word save. Once you have the required parties set up, you can then click on add more if you have more parties. So let's say we have another plaintiff. I would then click on add more. For party type, I would want to find plaintiff, so I would click on the word plaintiff and then put in the plaintiff's first and last name. If your attorney represents this second party, do the drop down and select your attorney and click on the word save. Keep in mind, addresses on the software are optional. If your court requires it, then it does allow you to type in that information. You will notice that I cannot remove the required parties. There is no trash can here. I can remove, however, the additional party that I added. There is a delete party there. If you need to make any changes, perhaps you see a typo in what you have typed in, you would then click on that little pencil to edit that party information. Then click on the word save if you've made any changes. After you have your party information set up, you will then click on the lower right for your next step, which is filings. Please note up at the top that as you progress through your filing, you will see the different sections and little check marks when they've been completed. There's case information with a check mark, there's your parties, and now we're on the third step, which is filings. So I'm going to click on Add Filing. By default, in an initial new case filing, the filing type will be selected for you, e-file only. Typically, you will only be able to e-file only new case filings. When the court accepts the filing and you have a case number, e-file and serve is actually then selected by default for you if you do want to e-serve your documents. Filing type, pick the filing code that matches the document you are filing. For example, if you have a complaint, a motion, application waiver of court fees, etc., under the filing code, look for these filing codes. So basically, it just describes what their document is. So I'm going to do a complaint. Filing description, it is not a required field. There's no red asterisks there are telling you that it's required. But if you do want to put a filing description in, keep it brief and you could just describe whatever that document is. Client reference number. If you do have a special client reference number for tracking purposes and billing purposes, this is in-house only. You can put a number here for your client. Comments to the court, this is also an optional field. If you do want to say something to the court clerk that will be reviewing this filing, this is the area where you will do so. It is not a permanent or legal part of your filing. It is just more of an informality between you, or a courtesy, you could say, between you and the reviewer who will be reviewing this filing. It is optional. You can leave it blank. Now I'm going to upload my document. When I click on Select File, this will allow me to upload the document that I have already filled out, saved as a PDF on my computer. You can upload at least one document, but you can upload several documents in the same filing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Select File for my first lead document. This will take me off of the e-filing software and onto my computer. I would then find the document that I have saved. I'm going to click on that document, click on the word Open, and I can save at this point. Oh, got security. So you want to do your security. Is it non-confidential or confidential? Select one. If you do select confidential, you will want to speak to the court clerk as to what the confidential means. So you want to pick a security level. Most documents are public and should be marked as non-confidential. And again, to learn about the different security options, you want to ask your local court or clerk's office, or you can go to the Illinois Court Help Desk. Once you have that document uploaded, you can then click on the word Save. You'll notice up at the top it says Additional Services and Fees. Let's click on that. If there is something else that you'd like to add to this, for instance, certification fees, citations, anything like that, this is where you can pick up extra fees, and you would click on those squares. If I click on the word Save, I've now saved my document. So how do you add another lead document? Good question. Click on Add More. Do you see where it says Add More? Click on Add More. Again, the filing type by default will be e-file only. Thinking about the second document, go ahead and select the filing code that describes that document. If you start to type in the word, it should jump down to that word, whatever it is. Filing description, optional field, use it if you'd like to, or leave it a blank. That's up to you. Same thing with client reference number, comments to the court, optional fields, but now we're ready for our lead document. This is required. Click on Select File, and also please keep in mind that the lead documents will get a file stamp from the court clerks when it is accepted. Once you've uploaded that second lead document, you will wait for the security box. I'm going to again select non-confidential and then click on the word Save. You can keep adding documents all the way up to the maximum envelope size. The maximum envelope size will be for you, and it will list how many megabytes or kilobytes you can have. Let's say that's all that I need. I'm now going to click on the word Service. Even though I'm e-filing only, if I would like to add myself as a service contact or anyone in my firm as a service contact for future, I could do that now. That does not mean they will be e-served, these documents, but I can do that now if I would like to. So let's say I just want to add myself as a service contact. I would then click on the word Add, click on Add Me. Who do I represent? That would be the person I represent. And then I would click on the word Save. Well, I would sorry. There's my client. You can do more than one. If you represent both of them, you can select the other one, and then you're going to click on the word Save. This will immediately put myself, there I am, as a service contact to my party. Now I'm going to click on the word Fees. You do not have to do that step, but you can do that ahead of time if you want to, so that you'll have it there when the court accepts the filing. Payment account, as I mentioned earlier, the way the payment account is named at that initial time when the firm admin was setting everything up, that's how it will appear in the drop-down under payment account. We will wait for this to finish loading. And when it does, now we're ready to do the drop-down. So we can have a waiver, we can have a credit card, we can have a bank account. If I select the word credit card, the way I have it named, filing party, that would be my client. If I wanted to turn around and send my client a bill, then that would be the person I would send it to, party responsible for fees. Filing attorney, even if it's not required, if you want to go ahead and put your filing attorney drop down arrow, you can. If you click on calculate fees, this will immediately calculate the fee breakdown for you. Wait for the circles to go around so it can finish working. Okay, so there's your fees. Now I would like to show you what happens if you were to select waiver. The system will recognize that a waiver was used, and when you click on calculate fees, it will immediately make those fees go to 0. You'll notice it also will let you know if you have expired cards. It says 10 payment accounts are not listed due to being expired. So with the waiver, you'll notice those fees are now 0. If I click on review and submit, this will let me look at everything one more time. So if you want to see the documents before submitting, it will let you do that. If you have a submission agreement, you must agree to it before you can keep going. So I'm going to click on agreements. Once you have selected agreements, if you want to look at the documents one more time, you click on the arrow down. Where it says original document, you click on that and you can look at the document. Here's that second lead document, drop down, you can look at that original document. This allows you to see the document one more time before you click on the word submit to submit to the court. If your document is not correct, you can click on the word edit and you can go remove the document and upload the corrected document. So let's say I looked at this and I see that it was not right. I would then go down, click on the trash can and remove. This will then let me upload the corrected document. Click on select file, find the corrected document, click on it and click on the word open. Once you have the correct document, you also want to wait for that security box. There it is, non-confidential, and I can click on the word save. So now if I want to, I can skip to fees. You once again would have to agree to that security box that was there, the submission agreements. And I'm going to click on review and submit. There's my agreements. And now I can click on the word submit. Okay. If this was the actual Odyssey, Illinois e-filing site, as soon as you click submit, these documents would be on their way to the court's queue. Once the status of this filing changes from submitting to submitted, that means that the court clerks can now see what I have e-filed, electronically filed, and they can review my documents. Once they accept this filing, they'll put a file stamp on those two lead documents, and they will assign a case number. The software will give this filing an envelope number, and that's how you will keep up with your filings. Cook County does have where you can schedule a hearing, so that will be coming up next. Cook County rules will state that you should select a motion so that you can schedule a hearing date. Okay, so apparently for this example, a hearing date is not required. And it could also be because I am on the stage environment. So we're going to click on Go to Dashboard. And what I just filed, you'll see it right here. I just underlined it. So filing history now has the filing that I submitted. So let's file into an existing case. To do that, I'm going to click on Start Filing, File into an existing case. Above that, it says if the case was started by you or someone else, and you have the case number or names of the parties to find the case, this helps you search for the case. So we're going to find the court location. It is alphabetized for your convenience, so we wait for that to pull up. Sorry about that. Oh, what I'm getting here are emails saying that my filing was submitted. So let's look at that real quick. This will be immediately in your filing, in your email inbox. And this lets me know that my filing was submitted, has all my information here. All right. So now we're going to file into an existing case. So I'm going to do another Cook County. This one's going to be a municipal civil. So here's all of the different courts in Cook County. And let's say this one is a District 6 District 5 Bridgeview. And then I would put in my case number right here. Click on the word search. And this is searching for the case in the case management system. Once your case has appeared, you want to look it over carefully, make sure this is the correct case. If everything looks right, you have choices. So when I click on actions, I can immediately file into the case. If you do set up a template for an existing case, you could do that where you've pre-uploaded documents. So if that's something you've set up, you can use your template. You can view service contacts and simply add a service contact without filing into the case if you'd so desire, or you could bookmark the case to file into it later. All right. I would like to show you how to add a service contact without filing into a case. There might be an occasion where all you want to do is add yourself as service contacts to receive email notifications on an existing case. This ensures that should the opposing counsel choose to e-file and serve you or e-serve you only, you are listed there with your name and email to receive that email notification. So I'm going to go ahead and click on View Service Contacts. Again, this stage environment does load a little bit slower than the site you will be using. All right, so if you want to add from your firm service contact list, remember we talked about that earlier, click on Add. I'm going to add from my firm list. If you're a non-party filer, or if you want to add yourself but not to any specific party, you can choose Other, No Party Association, or you can find your party that you do represent and add yourself to that party. For now, I'm going to do No Party Association. And now I'm in my firm service contact list. So you're going to find your name and you're going to click on it. You can do more than one person. Once you've added whoever you want to add as a service contact, you then click on the word Save. You'll see that you have now added yourselves as service contacts. Because you have added yourself as service contacts from your firm list, you are in full control. You can delete it anytime by clicking on Delete Service Contact. If I click on the word Save, then if that's all I needed to do, mission is accomplished. By the same token, if you wanted to remove those service contacts later on down the line, you pull up the case, you go to Actions, View Service Contacts, and you do that little trash can that I showed you a moment ago. So you would scroll down, you would then click on the trash can, and you can remove the service contact. You can remove however you wanted to remove, but you must click on the word Save. So that would be an option you could do without filing. But let's say we want to bookmark the case. So I'm going to click on Bookmark Case. So you can bookmark this case on a Friday afternoon and then come in Monday morning. You could then go to your bookmarks, find that tab. Here it is. Click on Bookmarks and your case would be there and ready for you to file into. Just saves you a step. All right, well, let's say we did click on File into Existing Case. We searched for it, found the case. Now we're going to file. So we'll click on Actions, File into Case. Well, we wait for it to load. Okay, so case information. Now this is information that the court has already accepted. This is an existing case. This information is saved. So we have all that done. Case cross-reference number, because it is a Cook County case, must be entered. And then you're going to click on Parties. Party information, this has already been accepted by the court. If you see any typos here, you cannot change them. Only the court would be able to make any changes here. The only thing you would actually be able to do in an existing case for party information would be to add your attorney to the party they represent if they did represent any of these parties, or you could click on Add More. Those are options you would have. You could not, for instance, click on that little pencil and try to change Martin Escobar's information. That's not doable. But if you wanted to add your attorney to this particular party, drop down arrow, click on your attorney, click on the word Save. Now this information will have to be e-filed at least to the court in order for the court clerks to review and accept that information. I say that because you cannot choose filing type e-serve only and change any information in parties. That information has to go all the way to the court, and by e-serve, that means that you're bypassing the court. It's just sending documents to service contacts, and the court is not reviewing. So the court has to review any information that you make. Little pencil, if I wanted to remove that, what I just added, I click on that little X, click on the word Save. So the pencil will allow you to do that. So I'm going to click on the word Filings on the lower right. This is where you're going to click on Add Filing. So just like when we were in that new case filing, remember? Only this time, as I mentioned earlier, By default, it will say e-file and serve for an existing case. Whereas, as you recall, in that initial filing, it was e-file only was selected for you. So e-file and serve means you're electronically going to file your papers and have your documents emailed to the selected service contacts. And it says there's a note there that you cannot use e-file and serve when you are starting a new case. So that's what we were talking about earlier. If you aren't sure which type to pick, you want to ask your local court or the clerk's office what to choose. All right, we'll leave it at e-file and serve for now. Thinking about your document, what filing code will fit it? It is alphabetized. If you start to type in the letters of the filing code you want to choose, it will skip down to those letters. The other boxes are optional. Use them if you want to. Filing type, I believe they do want you to, motion type, I should say, they do want you to choose a motion type. But that might be something that you want to talk to the court clerks about, okay? Now, this is a test environment. This might not mimic fully the production site. But I know motion type normally is listed so that you can schedule a hearing date. Filing description optional, client reference number is optional, comments to the court is also optional. Now we're ready to upload that document. Click on Select File. You're going to select your PDF document. It should be 8.5 by 11, saved as a PDF. And once you click on your PDF and click Open, you wait patiently for it to load fully, and then you should have the security box pop up. Is it public or confidential? Okay. Now, if you do see courtesy copies, you can put an email here. They will receive the email notification with the documents, but that is just a courtesy. We cannot track a courtesy copy. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see if we have additional services. You can click on additional services and fees, and maybe you want to tack on some fees, so you could do that right now. If there is a quantity, it'll let you know that you need to put in how many of these you would like. So that's where you're going to pick up different fees. A lot of times you will see, let's say a sheriff or constable might also be one of the options you have here. So this is where you will pick up additional services and fees. You can click on the word save. You do not have to select anything. The keyword is optional there. Pencil if you need to make any changes. Add more to add additional documents. You can also choose a different filing type, such as e-file only, if all you want to do is send a document to the court and to no one else. Keep in mind, if it is e-filed only the clerks will see it. The service contacts will not see that document. The system will allow you to do e-file, e-file and serve only. And again, there's your additional services and fees if there are fees or services that you need to tack on. There's my security box, and then I have save on the lower right. Again, you'll notice up at the top, as you complete each section, you will get a little check mark. So we're on step 3, which is filings. Now, because we did choose e-file and serve, we're going to click on service. And let's make sure that we have a service contact attached. All right. As you recall, we did add one before we even filed into this case. So there is that one. If you want to add another one, to add a service contact, you just click on add. You can add from your firm list. Who do you represent? Or if you're a non-party, you can select no. Let's see, what was that choice again? You can select other, no party association. Okay. Or your party. That's up to you. And now this is your firm service contact list. You can do more than one service contact. You just click on there on the little square. You'll notice I can't click save unless I actually select somebody. If I don't want to add another service contact, just click on that little X, click on cancel, and now you can just keep on going to fees. Here's your payment accounts. The way they're named is how you will know what you're selecting. You can have a credit card, you can have a waiver, and you can have an e-check. So if I used a payment account, like waiver, who do I represent? That would be my filing party, and then my attorney's name. If you click on calculate fees, it will be 0 because I did select waiver. Now, a lot of times in a existing case, there won't be any fees. Let's just check on that real quick. Unless you added fees. The initial fees would have already been paid. There are 0 filing fees for filing using Odyssey eFile Illinois in existing cases. Any fees filing in Odyssey will be court fees. Now, calculating fees, you actually do not have to click on that, but you can if you just want to see before you get to the summary page. Okay, so as I said, these initial fees were already paid, so if I use a credit card, it'd be 0. However, it is a requirement to have a payment account set up. So even if you know there will be 0 fees, it is required by the software system that you have a payment account set up. All right. I am going to go back to waiver. I just wanted to show you on a credit card that it would be 0 for this existing case. I did not add any fees. I then click on review and submit. This lets you look at your document once again before submitting. Now this time, because we are scheduling a motion hearing date, I'll have different things. So we have a return date. The return date must be verified. A return date is the date that the party has to respond by. Sometimes it's not applicable, sometimes it is. So if I click on the click on the little calendar, it will let me select a date, and then you click on the word verify. If it's not applicable, it will pop up not applicable. Also, because this is a court procedure, you might want to ask the clerks a little bit more about what they suggest for return dates. So here's my submission agreements. Not every court has them, but if they do, you must agree. This again allows you to look at your documents before submitting. You click on that drop down arrow. There's your original document. Click on that to open and look at, if you so desire to see the documents once before submitting. All right, so if everything looks good, you'll notice I have one service contact. If I do the drop down, it lets me know who I've added as a service contact. So if you are now ready to file into this case, you click on the word submit. If you do not file into the case and you leave it as a draft, it will allow you to resume your draft envelope. If you want to cancel a filing, you do have a small window of opportunity to cancel your filing while it is still in submitting or submitted status. Once the court starts to review it or have it in their hands and they are doing their reviewing, you cannot cancel. You no longer have that opportunity to cancel. You would then need to contact the court clerk if that is what you wanted to happen. They would then reject your filing. per your request. Okay, we're going to let that finish loading. Just scrolling up to the top. This should send me to the schedule hearing. You also have an option when you get to the scheduled hearing to not schedule if you already have a motion hearing date scheduled. So that would be something that you would see. It'd be case by case, whether you have a hearing date scheduled or not. So at this right now, I'm just going to click on Do Not Schedule. Okay, so under my filing history, I will see what I submitted. Now, as I mentioned before, you have that small window of opportunity to cancel a filing while it's still in submitted status. To do that, you click on View Filing History, and you see the X's there. This one is in submitting status because we just sent it to the court. I can now click on the X, and you have to do it for each document. So I have 2 documents in this filing, and I'm going to click on each X to cancel. Again, this is an option you have if you catch it in time. So then you would click on the second X and say OK, and this allows you to cancel. You could do the same thing with your submitted filings. Okay, here is that email letting me know that I submitted a filing. Remember we talked about that earlier? So I have filing was submitted. It goes to the filer's email address. So for these that are in submitted status, I could do the same thing. I could click on the X's and I can cancel the filing. You can also view the envelope details and you can view service contacts. All right, let me see if it will let me cancel this filing that's in submitted status. Once your filing is submitted, it will forever be part of your filing history. And this is true whether you cancel it, it'll be a canceled status, or if the court accepts it, it's part of your filing history, or if it is rejected by the court, it's part of your filing history. So that will forever be part of your filing history. Okay, so there's your canceled filings. If you do have a draft, that means that you were working on something, but you never finished it. You never sent it to the court. For instance, here's one from September the 8th of last year, still in draft status, meaning it was never submitted. And here's one that I started today and did not submit. If you do want to resume what you were working on, you can click on View My Drafts, and it does give you the option to resume a draft envelope. Actions, Resume Draft. This will allow you to pick up where you left off. The other thing you can do is delete a draft. The only part of the filing history that can be removed is a draft envelope. So if I were to click on the word delete draft, it'll say, do you want to? You say OK, and it will delete that draft envelope. Here's that second draft. If you no longer want it, you click on delete draft, say OK. Nobody will see the drafts except you or any of the filers that are in your firm's account. This does conclude our webinar for today. We thank you, and if you have any questions, you can call Tyler Technologies Filer Support, and that phone number is 800-297-5377. The hours currently are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. To sign out, click on the little circle in the upper right-hand corner and sign out. The system will automatically sign you out for lack of activity after a certain amount of time. Thank you. Have a good day.